Oh, what's up, guys? Welcome to Sports Talk 101. And today's video will recap week 8 of the 2025 college football season. Week 8 is in the books. Great games. We got a lot of games to talk about. There's a few games I want to specifically talk about, focus on. But this is a game on Tuesday to Thursday. Not great matchups through the week. Tuesday, Thursday, usually got typical matchups there. Every small teams get each other, but there you have it. But the biggest game I think of the week is right on Friday with Louisville beating Miami 24-21. I watched this game, constant back. 271 passing yards. I think 4 interceptions in this game. Louisville looked really good this game. They played this game really well. They were playing, I think, the best in this game up against, the Miami of Florida. You know, they're a good team, okay? Miami feel good about the first loss of the season. They're still a good team. You're talking about battle of the ACC. This game actually just about will go to the ACC title game. Because I said this, I think this was the previous video, so I said, Miami, Florida, Florida State, Louisville, Virginia are right now the best teams right now in the ACC. And it'll come down to one of these 4 teams is going to win the ACC. And Louisville is showing that they can compete for the ACC title, and they're a really good team. And I'm a little high on Louisville. Has been on the last couple of years, and I think just since Evan Bob became head coach at Louisville, I think this is a really good team. I think Louisville's gonna have a good season. I think they can go to the ACC title game again, and maybe win it. They got a couple tough questions at them. Right now, Miami. It's gonna be tough, but they got Miami, like I said, Miami, Florida, Virginia, Florida State, and Louisville. One of those 4 teams can win the ACC, so we'll see how it goes there. Go to the Big Ten, Nebraska. Dylan Raiola with 177 passing yards in a loss to Minnesota. You go on the road and lose to Minnesota. Granted, it's fine. I even see crazy things happen. But this Minnesota beats you 24-6. 24-6. Unbelievable that. Indiana, oh my God, Indiana. Fernando Mendoza, great quarterback of the quarterback, 332 passing yards. Well, he's like a good game. He is a really good quarterback, best quarterback I think Indiana's had I think in a long, long time. I don't know last time Indiana has a really great quarterback. I think Mendoza's, I think the San Jose, boy, they look good. Marshall Reed, another running quarterback with 280 passing yards with the win over Arkansas 45-42 in a close game there. Another good game between Georgia and Ole Miss 43-35. Georgia wins. Alabama survives against Tennessee 37-20. Another upset. Arizona State beats Texas Tech 26-22. Oregon beats Rutgers 56-10. Vanderbilt beats LSU 31-24. Okay, look at it. I'm going to say this right now. Okay? And hear me out. Okay, I don't want nobody, especially SEC fans, okay? Because I want you to hear me out. I'm not saying that Vanderbilt will win the SEC. But what I'm saying is, Vanderbilt is, I think Vanderbilt, look, and you look at the schedule, the only loss is to Alabama. You got Missouri, Texas, Tennessee. All ranked matchups. 2 of them on the road, 1 of them at home. I'm not saying it. But it'd be a top 10 LSU team. I'm not saying that Vanderbilt is going to win anything. I don't think Vanderbilt is going to win the SEC. Okay, that'll come down to Texas, Georgia, and Alabama. One of the 3 teams going to win the SEC this year. Maybe Ole Miss. What I'm saying is, if things play out, let's say Vanderbilt goes, beats Missouri, beats Auburn, beats Tennessee, but loses to Texas. Goes 10-2. I'm depending what happens around college football, especially in the SEC, how LSU, Alabama, Texas, Missouri, Tennessee, Georgia, Ole Miss, teams that compete for spot in the playoffs, how they do the season ends for them. I think Vanderbilt is this year's TCU. I think Vanderbilt is this year's TCU. What Diego Pavia and that team is doing in Nashville, holy cow. I'm not saying that they win the SEC. I'm saying even if they lost to Texas, like I don't think. I mean, they got a tough schedule. They got Missouri, Texas back to back, and they got Tennessee's first season. I'm just saying, Vanderbilt, if they trip up one of these remaining games, they, and depending where they're ranked, I would be shocked if Vanderbilt comes in number 12 and makes the playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised if Vanderbilt is last team in. Not saying it will happen, but that's my thought process. This Vanderbilt team is legit. Georgia Tech beating Duke. There. Notre Dame beat USC 34-24. Oklahoma beating South Carolina 26-7. BYU 24-22. Let me tell you something about BYU. BYU is a legitimate team. So is Utah. I'm not saying this, but when it comes to Big 12, it's going to come down to Utah, BYU, and Texas Tech. One of these three teams is winning the Big 12. I'm going to call it right now. Missouri beats Auburn 23-17. And I'm not saying this rightly, but they lost to Alabama, right? They got Vanderbilt, they got Tennessee, and they got Oklahoma. So Texas A&M. They got three tough matchups coming up. Let's say they go run the table, loses to A&M, and beat Oklahoma, for example. Okay, let's say they go to the table and maybe trip up someone. They're gonna trip up one of these remaining games. It's hard to win every single game, but they'll trip up. They'll lose one of these games here, right? And maybe A&M or Oklahoma. One of those two will be losses. I'm not saying Missouri will go to SEC. Now, Missouri can compete for SEC title. What I'm saying is, I think Missouri can make the playoffs. The only way they make the playoffs if they gotta beat Vanderbilt, they gotta beat Mississippi State, they gotta beat Arkansas, they gotta beat either Oklahoma or Texas A&M. If they lose to one of these two teams, and with 2 losses, a 10-2 SEC team is getting in. Now, also again, it depends how the World Cup football plays out, but I won't be surprised if they make playoffs. Virginia, I'm not calling it, but Virginia's going to the ACC title game. If you look at the remaining schedule and look at the schedule they had, look at this. The biggest win they had all year long is Florida State. They beat Louisville. They got North Carolina, they got California, Wake Forest, Duke, and Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's not playing. Look, this is a crappy schedule right here for Virginia. I'm telling you right now, Virginia's going to the ACC title. Right? Virginia is going to go to the playoffs with 1 loss. They're going to finish 11-1. Don't come at me. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm not saying Virginia's will the ACC, but they are going to compete for the ACC title game. It comes down to Virginia, Georgia Tech, Louisville, and Miami. I just don't think Florida State is a big title game, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. Let's just this game. Well, look, they're 3-4. They're 16th in the ACC. And if you look at the ACC, we'll look at this here. Look at the ACC. Who's top of the list? Who's 4-0 in the conference and undefeated? Georgia Tech. On one loss, Virginia. Look at Louisville. They're overall 5-1, 2-1 in the conference. Miami Hurricanes. Not bad record. Florida State, 0-4 in conference play, 3-4 overall. I'm telling you right now, Florida State's not making the title game. So basically you're looking at Miami, Florida, Louisville, Virginia, Yellow Jackets, all ranked teams now. I'm just not saying it's gonna happen. But I'm telling you right now, Georgia Tech, Louisville, Miami, Florida, and Virginia. One of these 4 teams will win the ACC. I'm not sure who will, but one of these teams will win the ACC. I'm gonna be surprised if it's Virginia. And Virginia will Virginia doesn't make it to play to the ACC. Like if they can go finish the season the way they play all year, don't be shocked if Virginia. They might be this year TCU. South Florida beating FAU. Texas beating Kentucky 60-13 in overtime. Memphis losing to UAB 31-34. Cincinnati beats Oklahoma State. Okay. Michigan beats Boston. Okay, prospect win there. Iowa beats Penn State 25-24. I'm not surprised here. Penn State, your season complete over. You're just a crappy team. But there you have it. But I'm telling you, when it comes to the ACC, Georgia Tech, Virginia, Miami, Florida, and Louisville, right? When you look at the SEC, you look at Missouri, Auburn, if they play well, Georgia, Ole Miss, LSU, Alabama, right? And Missouri to mix. And then the Big 12 comes to Utah, BYU, Texas Tech. The Big 10, Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana, maybe Michigan will all compete for the Big 10 title game. This ain't, and just put out there. But that's week 8 in the books. Great game weekends. Like your channel, hit the notification up. I just want to say out this video. Peace.